Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Sentity. Today we're gonna go over some Skarlet abilities to give you guys a little bit of an opinion or a little bit of an option to see the bad and the ugly of her. She has some very good abilities and some very, bad ones as well. But without further ado, I'm definitely gonna help you guys, choose which ones are best, which ones are bad, my personal opinions and all of that as well. If you please enjoyed the video, make sure to always like down below and comment if you guys have an opinion. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and it would help my channel out a ton. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first ability we have is Killer Clot. Now this ability actually prevents the opponent from using their special moves, and you can even end the combo with this. So if you go like this and then you cast that, it'll actually just latch onto the opponent, and then for a little bit of time they won't be able to use their abilities or their special moves. So if you're versing a Scorpion, he won't be able to teleport or amplify it, or a Sphere, or if you're versing a Sub-Zero, he's not gonna be able to slide, and it only lasts a couple of seconds and you can't amplify it, which is a bummer. But other than that, it's still a really good move, especially if you're versing someone who just spams their special moves. So the next move we have is Siphon. Now this is actually one of her better abilities because it does extend combos, or it's a perfect way to end combos, but it also gives you health back. So as you see right now, let me go ahead and change this really quickly here. So we'll have Devora have 100%. Let's have me only have 5%. So if I go ahead and use this and I amplify it, I get a little bit of health back. And you can, like I mentioned, you can always end combos with it too. So you can go like this and then amplify it, and it's gonna give you health back. And even then, it does 24% damage, which is really good. The only thing is that if they block it, you're at a very bad negative frame, so they'll easily punish you for a full combo. So use it wisely. But another thing you can do is if you do land it perfectly, it has frame advantage, so you could easily go for like a throw and then get them into the corner and then just start your zoning that way if you like to zone as a Skarlet player. And then, like I mentioned, you can confuse them with like a front throw or back throw. So it's one of the better moves, and like I mentioned, if you land it successfully and you amplify it, you get health back and you have frame advantage, so you can go for like another combo, a down one, or even a throw. And the next one we have is Blood Port. This is a really good teleport. However, they just recently nerfed it, so it's a higher frame startup, but even then I think it's still a very good teleport. So if you do normally, you're always going to teleport right behind the enemy, but it has different inputs, but these do cost defensive meter, however. So the first one is if you're all the way back here and you want to blood port right in front of him, you have to do up, down, back. So right here, and you're going to land right here in front of the opponent. Let me just go ahead and switch this here so I can show you guys here. So you do that right in front of them. Now if you want to go, if you're really close to them and you want to start zoning but you want to be behind them, so you're going to do down, up, and then their side. So like this. That's in the front. If you want to go to the far behind, you have to do forward. So like that. You're up here, that'll do behind it, but if you do that, you're further behind. And then if you want to juke the opponent a little bit and mess around and think that you're going to go to the other side, you just have to hold down. But it still costs a bar of defensive meter. Like I mentioned, Blood Port's really good. If I were you guys, I would only use it when you have to just teleport like this, unless you want to go for the bar and you really want to mess them up because you haven't done it that much. So if you're all the way back here and you want to teleport on the other side of him a little further, then do that, because if you think about it, that's actually a really far teleport. So if you're all the way back here and you do that, you're basically almost at the other end of the map. So it's really good, but like I mentioned, it does come at a cost. So let's go into the next set of abilities. Alright, and the next set of abilities we have is Retribution. It basically makes the opponent spit on their own blood. It does pretty good damage for only 1 bar, and you can combo it. You just have to be very careful. I failed there, but right here, you can combo into it. 23% for 1 bar is not bad, but you have to make sure if they're this distance, you use the regular. But if they're really close, for example here, you have to do the keys and then back for it to land. And then if they're super far, you have to do front or forward. So, but even then, it's not that far. But like I mentioned, it's another risky move. It's also very punishable on blocks, so I just be very careful with it. But if you are able to land it, it does very good damage. 16% for only 1 bar, and that's without any combos attached onto it. So the next one we have is Red Mist. You basically just cover yourself in blood. It does do damage when you hit it, and whenever you're close to them, they start to take damage. The only problem I have with this is that it does replace one of your best moves in your arsenal, so you don't have Blood Tentacle anymore. The good thing about this though is that you can combo with it. So for example, if you do this, And then that, it actually leaves the opponent standing and they take damage, so they can't use their defensive meter. So that's one good thing about it. But like I mentioned, if you're always up in your opponent's face, you can have this and they'll be taking damage consistently. And even just using it, it does pretty good damage. Like I mentioned, I prefer Blood Tentacle just because it has more range and it has more uses. But if you're, and the only bad thing about this is that you can't amplify it either. But other than that, we'll go into the last ability, which is Dagger Dance. Now, Dagger Dance is actually one of the best parries. I don't care what anybody says, does, or thinks. I feel like it's one of the best parries in the game. Not only because it does a lot of damage, as you see here, if you amplify it. It does pretty good damage. Yeah, 15%. But it looks just like her block. So this is her blocking. This is her Dagger Dance. It looks almost the same. Some people will be able to tell the difference, but a lot of people online really won't be able to tell the difference because it looks just like her block. And then if you actually, I think if you land this 3 times amplified, it'll Crushing Blow. So let's check. Let's check. So, yeah, so the 4th time. So this time it should Crushing Blow. Yeah, and it does pretty good damage, 20%, and it still does damage over time. It does quite a bit. Yeah, the Dagger Dance Amplified, if you're able to get that in an online match, that's one of the best crushing blows you can definitely have with Skarlet, because she only has 2. She has this one that's counter hit or punish, and then she has this one, which is the double overhead, which some people expect, and even then it doesn't do a lot of damage. So if you're able to get this Dagger Dance crushing blow online, you're going to do some good damage. So let's look into the next ones. Alright, and we have the next set of abilities here. So the first one is Blood Ritual, which a lot of people don't use, and I can see why. So it's down, back, forward, square, or 1 in fighting terms, and you take 10 damage, and the opponent only takes 5. So you're losing more health than they are, and it's a move you're supposed to be performing. I mean, if you have a lot of life lead and you just want to kill them, then I guess it's a good one, but I don't really use it, not because it's just, I mean, look. I mean, I'm taking so much more damage than she is, and I'm gonna die here soon. So it's not a best one. Even then, if you just do it for a couple seconds, it'll still do more damage to you. And then and then you can hold it, which I don't know why you would want, because you would just be taking more damage. So not one of the best abilities, but if it's gonna kill the opponent, I mean, you might as well. But not my personal favorite. The next one is Red Rain, so it's down 2. So this is actually a damage buff. The only thing I don't really like is that if you move out of it, you don't get the damage buff. Or I think if you move a little bit in front of it, you will get it. So right here, this is the max you can get with getting the damage buff. But even then, you're going to start moving because of the combos. And then even if you're behind it a little bit, you're still going to get that damage buff. But like I mentioned, as soon as you get out of range, it's gone. And then most of the time, you're just going to get out of range because you're performing combos or you're zoning. I mean, it's very good if you zone. So you do this. So we'll do a regular blood. So we'll go behind. My bad. We'll go behind. Regular blood ball does 80 high. A blood shot does 70 high. You use this. The blood ball should do more. It does 100 high. And the blood shot does 87.50 high. So it's really good if you're going to be zoning. And then with a blood trail as well, you're gonna be doing more damage. But if you're trying to go for combos, if you get them into the corner and you start comboing them, that's where I would use it the most, especially if they're knocked down. You start going for Red Rain, and then you'll be able to extend your combos here. And it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't last long either. So, and then we have Crimson Shield. Basically, what this is that you take reduced damage. So whatever, you know, if they do a fatal blow or anything like that, you're actually going to take reduced damage. So if we go over here really quickly, and we have Devora do something really quick. So it's actually in AI options. So we'll do this really quick. We'll do medium. Okay. And then we'll do Crimson Shield. 14%. So you take much more less damage. And it's like I mentioned, this one actually lasts longer than Red Rain, but it does, like, especially if you're very low on health, then you're not going to take a lot of damage because it's one of those abilities that reduces it. So it's actually, you know, I prefer it more than the Ritual one for sure, because like I mentioned, guys, the Blood Ritual is just so bad. Like, I would never use that. But let's go ahead and look into the next ones now. Alright, and the next ones we have is basically one that lets you amplify Blood Ball and then Boiling Point. So Blood Ball, this is regular blood ball, and then you can actually amplify it, so it'll go fast, which is like that, which is pretty freaking fast. A lot of people won't be able to block that, and then slower than the regular one. So that's the regular. This is the slower one. This is the fast one, which is pretty freaking fast. Still does the same damage, but I'm not sure if it's worth 2 slots. Because it's not. It takes up 2 slots. If it was 1 slot, I could see why. But 2 slots, I feel like is too much. You could just do this 1 slot and then have some, you know, some other better abilities to go with it. But I guess that's just me. And the next one is Boiling Point. Well, wrong one right here. And it does pretty good damage for being no bars. Let's see with 1 bar. I think it does as much. Oh, 19% with 1 bar. So I think you can even go like this. No, just this. No, I think you have to be really fast with it. Because I've seen people do it. It does really good damage when you combo in it. I don't know why. Hold on. I really want to land this now. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's I have to use the joystick. There we go. Doesn't even then reset it. So it's still pretty good. I mean, I think I like Soul Siphon more just because you get health back. But I feel like this one, if you want, you know, damage potential-wise, go with this one. See, like right here? Oh, man. Hold on. I think we can land that. I think I have to do the long one, though. No, come on. Yeah, that's so hard. I think I can do this. Hold on. No, see, this is so hard. That's just Blood Tentacle. But yeah, it's still a good ability. But without that, let's just go ahead and go into the last ones, and then we'll be all done for you guys here. So it looks like those were all of Skarlet's abilities. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to please hit that like button. It would really help out my channel out a ton. And subscribe if you're new to the channel so you don't miss any more future videos. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Skarlet's a very fun character, but I feel like he's more of a zoning character because of all the stuff she has for zoning, like her blood trail, her blood shot, her blood ball, and then the freaking blood tentacle. It's so freaking good as well if you do that max range. So it has the, you know, the long one as well. So like I mentioned, if you guys want more of these videos, I'm going to be doing, I think my next one is going to be Sub-Zero, because I see a lot of people using Sub-Zero, and I actually got some people on my Facebook messaging that they'd want to look at all of Sub-Zero's different abilities. So I'm going to be making a video on that. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.